I have strange dreams in regards to COVID, and my wife claims hers are even stranger.
In Wales, like, transport is definitely down. I live next to one of the busiest roads in Wales, and hardly ever hear a car.
Even you have to show police that you have an urgency to go out or to buy and stuff.
I literally passed by one of the grocery stores the other day. Not one person had a mask.
After the coronavirus.
What do I know about the virus?
The coronavirus.
In the supermarket or in the hardware store, they have lines on the floor, 2 meters, 2 meters, 2 meters, yes, and at the cashier, yeah?
It's just you go to that, you have to stay in line. If there are too many people in the store, if you have kids with you, they won't let them in. If you have seniors with you, they won't let them in. And then you have to wash and wear a mask and so on.
I have a grocery store like across the street from me. It's like a tiny one. In that store particularly, because it's like small, there's only like 4 people allowed at the same time. So I went in today, and they were. I was looking in the store because on the door it says 4 people in at a time. Obviously, stick to the social distancing rules, which is like 2 meters. So I looked in. I literally saw like 3 people. So I was like, okay, I can go in. There's not 4 people here. And then the guy just shouted to me like, "Get out!" Like there's 4 people here. I was like, I didn't see the other guy. So yeah, I have to wait for like someone to leave, and then they are back in. So
they are waiting, and nobody really is complaining. I've not heard anyone really complaining.
I literally go into a store and I tell people to stand on their exits. So I'd have no problem telling people to move. So in that sense, I'm not doing that to be some tough guy. I'm doing that because I want to protect myself, because I could potentially infect someone else.
It's just more getting in and then getting out is where you feel. Inside the supermarket, just the happiness to not have too many people.
Actually, there's not shortage of anything. In Germany, there was a shortage of flour and of toilet paper. In France, of condoms and the wine. So it's that's a saying here. You know what you do when you have a love time.
Since this is being recorded and my wife's sitting right next to me, I will keep certain things private. But as far as from a personal thing, I've done a lot of house projects with her. So we went and redid a whole bathroom downstairs.
Back here, it is incredibly boring, just having to stay inside all the time. But it is what it is. During the day, I sleep, and then I like take my dog for a walk, like as my daily activity or a run, and then really just play video games. We had like a few assignments to do, so I've kind of been busy on them as well. But that's it really.
For us, no church, no traveling. But okay, I'm physician, general surgeon, and emergency doctor. I'm still working 120% or 130%.
Helping out by staying at home and making masks for essential workers who need them in the medical field, or police officers, or anyone who's out trying to protect us.
The local government, the city, the province, and the federally, they all seem to coordinate it very well in terms of what the information is and how to socially distance, and what to do in the event that one has the virus, or that one is exposed to somebody that had the virus.
There's certain things where they're talking about, they can't put as many ventilators out there or masks and all that. You can create millions and trillions of bullets, but you can't create a face mask. To me, when they say they can't produce them heavily, that's the part I don't believe. But when it comes to the actual disease and some of the things that they've done as far as research goes, and using credible sources, then yes, obviously, you have to kind of lean on what they kind of tell you.
We had a minister before, and he would never read the newspapers, because he said, just his rationale was, 50% is anyway a lie. But since I don't know which 50%, I just stopped reading at all. It has reduced my reading and listening because there's so much garbage.
Like newspapers, never trust them because they are misleading. Like the newspapers that will they'll get a story and they'll try and twist it a bit, the title and all that. I trust a few news outlets, but the ones that are more trustworthy, like BBC News, which is like the British main news outlet, and then Sky News probably as well. And
when it comes to Facebook, I no longer take part in it. I don't trust half of what social media might put out, and I've seen some of the fake news, or not that Trump calls them fake news, but for example that black people can't get the virus, and also sorts of things that it's very sad that it's actually out there.
I think we're about 3 months late to the party.
The government's response to us to keep 6 feet apart, to stay home, to keep social distance, to socialize online by phone.
in terms of how they responded, it was a bit slow because obviously there was football events, there was sporting events, there was schools continuing to go when the outbreak was starting to grow.
I think they overdid it, Bill. I think they should have been protecting the most vulnerable, because that was very soon known who are the most vulnerable, and then trying to keep economy running as much as possible.
The countries that have dealt with it best have, like Korea, I can't even think of Germany, I think they've done really well as well.
Okay, in retrospective, it was a good handle. They handled it very good. The medical supply was at any time was covering everybody.
To me, that depends where, but that the governments have tried to deal with it and stop it.
So I would say that things probably won't open up to, I would say, mid-October, November.
Not until there is a proper vaccine and it's actually been proven for several months. And I believe that will be more like in fall, maybe even longer.
I'm not sure when this is going to end though. Like, this thing is really unpredictable. It could go on for months. You don't know at all, because it depends how people obey the social distancing and the lockdowns.